the Daily Ramble podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, this is my Daily Ramble. I hope you're all well. Plenty to talk about today. Before we get there, as I always say, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, drop a like on the video, because it does really help us. Please drop a like on the video. We're going to be talking about Flynn Downs to Southampton for 18 million. We're going to be touching on the first pre-season game of the pre-season campaign against Ferencvaros. I think I pronounced that right. And we're going to be talking about the transfer window as a whole. Are we dragging our heels? Are we taking too long? Are we seeing more players go out than we're seeing coming in? Well, we know that that's yes. But should we be worried? You know, we're going to be flying out to the US soon. We're going to touch on that in a bit. But what we'll do first, before we get onto the Flynn Downs story, we'll just quickly touch on the game, the friendly against Ferencvaros. Yeah, so we played Ferencvaros. First half, we went 2-0 down. Listen, I'm not moaning about it, by the way, but I am going to talk about it very quickly. I thought it was a very useful friendly. It was the first of the pre-season campaign. But 2-0 down in the first half. We had Fabianski in goal. I'm not going to go through the entire starting lineup. It was a complete mishmash of youth players and senior players. And some players that we haven't seen for a very long time. The mystery of Maxwell Cornet, you know, that's been solved. There was around about 20,000 people, not at the game, but people that watched online as well, that were reported to have spotted Maxwell Cornet in the first half. So the search party's been called off. Maxwell Cornet's fine. And I thought he looks half decent. I thought he looks all right. He did. You know, nothing amazing, but there wasn't really from anyone, to be quite honest. You know, we saw Luis Guilherme. We saw Max Kilman, who looked tidy. Guilherme did look good as well. There were some good little passages of play. Does look a bit raw, but very exciting, very quick, very direct. I like the look of him. Mo Kudus was obviously playing as well. You had a midfield of Alford, Potts, the Rolls-Royce looking Potts, and James Ward-Prowse in the first half. Alford and Potts looked good. Yep. You had, I think at the back you had Max Kilman and you had Dinos. You had Fabianski in goal. You had Kadura on the right-hand side. You had Cresswell out left with sort of Cornet out there as well. Yeah, and we had sort of Guilherme and Kudus in there as well. So it was good. It was fine. It was fine. They scored two deep. I mean, their first goal was good. We sort of turned it all around. It was a game of two halves. It was. Julian Lopetegui made some astute tactical changes at half-time. It just completely sort of changed the team. We came out. We took a little bit more control of it. And Danny Ings done what James Ward-Prowse can't do. Smashed in an absolutely beautiful free kick. A beautiful free kick. Following that, I've gone and put 20 quid on Danny Ings to equal David Beckham's free kick record before James Ward-Prowse. I think that's more likely, let's face it. And Naya Fagware scored a last gasp winner as well from Alan Irvine's cross. We saw Callum Marshall, we saw George Urphy as well. We saw everyone. It was very, very good. Emerson was playing. Yeah, Zuma played as well, you know, survived another game. His knee survived. It was a good run out. A lot of people have been criticising it, you know, ooh, Ferencvaros. It's a pre-season friendly. It was played at low intensity. It's all about getting the new philosophy of the manager into these players. It was a training exercise. That's all it was. And it was very good. I enjoyed it. I did. I liked the mix and blend of senior players and youth players. I thought they looked really bloody good as well. We saw Casey as well. Sorry, Casey looked very good. Yeah, no, good game. Good game. Absolutely nothing to complain about. The wild card was Irvine, who did put in that ball for Naya Fagware, not a player I know much about. He looks like a really good player. A really good player. He played in the 8. Yeah, he looks a really complete player. This kind of probably does feed into why maybe we've let Flynn Downs walk away for what I consider not a lot of money. I don't think 18 million's enough. You know, we bought him for 12 million. He played in the Premier League. He played in Europe. We loaned him back to Southampton. He got him promoted. And they've bought him. They've kind of splurged on him as a Premier League team. So I do think that we've undersold him there. We've undervalued him. I think we should have been looking at 20, 25 million. And I think it is a shame. I'm a little bit sad that he's moved on. Of course I am. But he's going to want first team football. That's what he wants. I'm assuming that what Downs has done is he's spoken to Lopetegui and he hasn't got the message that he wanted, because apparently he's been pushing for that move now. So I get that, you know, why who wants to sit on the bench? So, and plus if he did stay, he would be standing in the way of the likes of Freddie Potts, who looked magnificent in that first half. He's ready. Potts is ready. Alford looked good as well. But Potts looks like he's ready for the Premier League, in my opinion, from what I saw. He glides across the pitch, just effortless passing. He does look like a Rolls Royce. He does. He actually does, to be fair. I really like the look of him. Player of the season for Wickham. I saw a club spokesman come out and say that obviously Eze was at Wickham as well, and they said that Potts' loan stint at Wickham eclipsed that of Eze's. They think he's a wonderful player. So I do think, look, in that respect, it's good. So it's sad that Downs has moved on for 18 million. Wish him all the best. But when you look at the players that we've got in midfield, ignoring Soucek and James Ward-Prowse, we've got Alvarez, we've got Earthy, we've got Potts, we've got Alford, we've got Irvine. There'll probably be other players coming in as well. They must have somebody else lined up. We are probably oversubscribed in the midfield area, and you can't discard James Ward-Prowse and Soucek, or Jedward, as I like to call them. They probably will play a part. They will. So we've got a lot of midfielders. So until probably a couple, we had to move someone on. You know, we had to move someone on. So I do think it was probably good business. I was hoping that we was going to retain him. I was hoping that Flynn Downs was going to get his chance and be given the opportunity to sort of show what he can do in his strongest position, but it's not meant to be. And I think his strongest position is CDM. He's not better than Alvarez. That much I do know. I think he's better than James Ward-Prowse, and I think he's better than Soucek. I'd rather him play in front of those two. From what I've just seen of Freddie Potts, though, I wouldn't dare say that he's better than Freddie Potts, because I don't think he is. I think Freddie Potts' ceiling's way higher. I think Downs is probably as good as he's going to get. Potts is at a very, very good level already. So I'm excited to see more from Potts. And obviously you've then got Alford knocking on the door as well. We've got George Earthy. I know he's more of a 10. But yeah, look, I think it's all fine. It's all positive for me. The only thing that isn't positive is the fact that we're seeing so many players go out. Since January, we've had Kehrer go out. We've had Benny. We've had Fornells. We've had Trott go out, who's been replaced by Fotheringham, you know, the third choice goalie. We've had Johnson go. We've had Mabama go. There's a lot of players that have gone out the door, and all we've brought in is Guilherme and Max Kilman, basically, and Fotheringham. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I know that we don't need a massive squad next season because we've got some youth players coming in and occupying some squad places now, and we haven't got European football. I get that, but there's a lot of spaces that need to be filled. I'm starting to get a little bit irritated by this John Duran transfer, because Aston Villa have lowered their demands down to the area, down to what West Ham were sort of willing to pay, but we're not pushing through with the deal now. And I don't know. Well, I know why. They're trying to squeeze it down even more. That's what they're trying to do. They're now going out there playing the same game that we played with Max Kilman, saying, you know, oh, if you don't sell us in for this much money, then, you know, we're going to go out and buy another centre-back. That's what we tried with Max Kilman. There was no one else really after Max Kilman, so it kind of worked. But it isn't going to work every time. And at some point, you're going to start annoying the player as well. You've got to make these players feel like they're wanted. So I don't know why they're doing it. From what I'm told, I think the fee now is around about 33 million. I think that's fine. For a forward with his potential, that is absolutely fine. I don't know what they're trying to do at this point. They clearly want him. He's clearly a primary target. There's a deal to be done. Why not just do it? Why mess around? You know, we're going to be flying out to America soon. I don't want to get negative about it. I don't want to do that, but it is starting to get irritating. I honestly thought that with this change of direction, you know, with Tim Stuyton, with this new philosophy of recruitment, it would be done a lot sooner. The players would have been eyed up and the deals would have been done sooner, so that by the time we're at this stage, pre-season has started, a lot of the new players that have been through the door already. So I don't know. Maybe there's method to it. Maybe Lopetegui wanted to have a look at some of the existing players before he made any big decisions. I don't know. I just hope it isn't going to be one of those don't go to bed windows, because that just pisses me off. It does. But let's stay positive anyway. Let's not go down that path. There's definitely deals that are almost there to be done. We know we've got Jota Silva. You know, I think the Wesley one might have fizzled out now. So it looks like the Jota Silva one is still there. We know that we can get that player. We know that player wants to come to us. We're trying to knock the price down because of the 70 million release clause. We don't want to pay that because he's only got a year left on his contract. We want Carl Walker-Peters, but we don't want to pay what Southampton want. So we're trying to mess around with that deal as well. We also want Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's targets, but we're not getting them done yet. We've also got Paqueta to be concerned about as well. That's another player that's effectively could be a loss. He's still out in Brazil at the moment. He ain't sort of travelled back yet. I know that they've had the Copa, so he gets his 2-week break. I'll feel a lot more confident and comfortable once we see Paqueta back in training. I want to see him back in the country again because he's going to be important next season. I do think that he will excel under Lopetegui, playing the way that Loppe does. I think Paqueta really would suit that system. So, yeah, maybe I'm just getting a little bit nervous, a little bit impatient. I don't know. I just hate the way that we do business sometimes, you know. Like I said, this John Duran deal could have been done a week ago, but I don't know why we've left it this long. But yeah, look, that's it from me anyway. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I will speak to you all soon. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on it. Speak to you all soon. Come on, you irons.